All right, so today we're going to do something a little different. We're taking a tour of a Finnish bathroom. I know it sounds a bit strange, right? But trust me, it's the perfect place to unlock one of the coolest things about the Finnish language, how it literally glues its words together. So let's start with a basic question. How does a language even come up with a word for something like a toothbrush? I mean, do you just make something up from scratch? Well, in Finnish, the answer is way more logical and honestly a lot more fun. Yeah. See, they don't really invent a totally new word. What they do is so much smarter. They just take old, simple words they already have and glue them together. It's kind of like playing with Lego blocks, right? You snap a couple of pieces together and bam, you've got something brand new. It's an incredibly logical system once you see it in action. So let's call this the Finnish word glue rule. We're going to break down exactly how this super intuitive system works. Okay, so there is a fancy official term for this. It's called a compound noun. One word made by jamming a few others together, but word glue just sounds better, doesn't it? So we're going to stick with that. And this word glue idea is going to be our main tool for this whole tour. All right, let's put it to the test with our first example, the toothbrush. In Finnish, the word for tooth is hammas, and the word for brush is harja. So what do? You just glue them together, and you get hammasharja. Literally a toothbrush. How simple is that? It's elegant, it makes perfect sense, no new word needed. Okay, so let's start our tour. Our first stop, the bathroom sink. Where all the morning gear is. Let's see how this word glue thing really starts to build up. Okay, so we've got our hamashar, our toothbrush, but what about toothpaste? Well, the Finnish word for paste is tahna. So put it together with tooth and you guessed it, hamash tahna, toothpaste. Simple. What about dental floss? Think about it. What is it really? It's basically thread for your teeth. And yep, that's exactly what they call it, tooth thread, or hamaslanka. You're starting to see the pattern here, right? It's just so literal. And hey, this whole logic thing, it's not just for stuff to do with your teeth. Let's talk shaving. In the wonderfully direct world of Finnish, a razor isn't just a razor. Oh no, it's described by what it is. It is literally a beard machine. How great is that? Okay, pop quiz time. I'm going to give you the pieces. The word for beard is parta. The word for machine is kone. So, how would you say razor in Finnish? Take a second, glue them together in your head. You got it. It's partanakone. And it doesn't stop there. What about shaving cream? Well, the Finnish word for foam is vahto. So shaving cream becomes beard foam or partavato. See, once you learn the basic building blocks, you can literally start building the language yourself. All right, let's move away from the sink for a sec. Let's look at some other stuff you'd find in here. Because this word glue thing, it's absolutely everywhere. Okay, so soap is just saipua, that one's its own word. But what about moisturizing cream? Well, that's kosteusvoide. And if you break that down, it's just moisture cream. Makes sense. And toilet paper? The word for toilet is vessa. So, naturally, toilet paper is vessa paper. Toilet paper. You just can't get more direct than that. Now, this next one is one of my absolute favorites. You know how in English we just say Kleenex, even if it's not that brand? We just use the brand name for the thing itself? Well, in Finland, they don't do that. They stick to what the thing actually is. So, if you have a runny nose, you'd ask for a nose cloth. And this is just a perfect illustration of the whole idea. The word for nose is nenä. The word for cloth is lina. Shove them together and you've got nenälina, a nose cloth. There's a kind of beautiful, almost poetic simplicity to it, isn't there? Okay, so we've got a handle on single words, but how do these little building blocks work in the real world, like in a full sentence? Let's check out some signs you might actually see if you were staying in a Finnish guest house or hotel. So picture this. You're in the shower and you see this sign. At first glance, it looks pretty intimidating, right? But don't worry. We can totally figure this out using the same logic we've been using all along. Okay, let's break it down piece by piece. First up, kumavesi. That just means hot water. Next, rita. That means lasts or is enough. Then we have vain, which means only. And finally, viisi minuuttia. That's 5 minutes. So what's the sign telling us? Hot water lasts only 5 minutes. See, it's just a super practical heads. All right, let's try one more. This is another sign you might see, but this one is more of a polite request. And again, we're just going to deconstruct it, piece by piece.
Okay, that first part, älkää käyttäkö, that's just a polite way of saying do not use. Then you have pyyhkeitä, which means towels. And meikin means for makeup. Put it all together and the sign is just saying, please don't use the towels for makeup. See, once you break it down, it's not scary at all. It's totally manageable.
So that was our quick little tour of a Finnish bathroom. What's the big takeaway from all this? Let's quickly recap the main point. And yeah, this table really lays it all out. A toothbrush is a toothbrush. Shaving cream is beard foam. A tissue is a nose cloth. The language just describes what something is or what it does by combining its parts. It's a beautiful system of logical construction. And that's really the heart of it all. Instead of having to invent a ton of totally new random words, Finnish just builds with what it already has. It combines simple concepts to describe a complex world. It's so efficient, it's super intuitive once you get the hang of it, and honestly, I think it's kind of beautiful.
So I'm going to leave you with one final little puzzle to chew on. Now that you understand the logic, if a tissue is a nose cloth and a razor is a beard machine, what do you think a refrigerator is? I'll give you a hint. The two words you need to glue together are ice and cabinet. I'll let you think about that one.